let's take a teacher as an example. And maybe they're earning, I don't know what they're earning, 90 grand a year. Now they are teaching all day, every day, and maybe they have a family, and so they don't really have any additional time. And then they've got sports and whatnot on the weekend. They don't have any additional time to be doing a side hustle. So their income is capped at that. And so for those people, it doesn't mean that they can work harder in a different way. So for example, I was speaking to a couple yesterday down in Wellington, and they're both social workers, and they are 50, they were also 59, 58 and 59, want to retire at 65, still got a home mortgage. And I said to them, we looked at how much they're spending, and I said to them, do you reckon you could cut down your spending by 12 grand a year? And they were like, we could, yeah. And I said, well, let's have a look at this. So we chucked into the software, and if they spent $12,000 a year less and had that surplus going into their mortgage, it meant that when they turned 65, instead of having a $397,000 mortgage, their mortgage was going to be $122,000.
Wow. Massive.
Massive. And they were like, whoa, now they have a motivation to spend $12,000 a year less. But without knowing for their particular situation, I mean, I think everyone knows, if we pay more into our mortgage, obviously we're going to pay it off soon and we're going to save some money. But it's not until people see it related to their own position that they're like,
light bulb.
Right, yeah, okay, got this. That's the motivation that they need. And so that's just changed the world and their outlook, because they thought that they were going to have to sell the family home that their kids grew up on, and they didn't want to do that. So some people have the ability to work harder and earn more money, and some people actually don't have time. You know, they're looking after, they're working, and then they're looking after older family members and whatever. But they can still work harder in a different way by focusing on their budget and spending a little bit less. They're still going to have a good life with, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I reckon that once people do something like that, or they get a little bit of progress, then it unlocks a new chapter and they realise, oh shit, you know, maybe we do go stay with our friends over a long weekend and we Airbnb our place out or whatever. And then all of a sudden there's another grand, and it's like, what does the grand do to, you know, oh shit, that shaves another 2 months off of the mortgage.
Starts opening up their eyes to bigger, more possibilities.
So that's why I don't, like, although I agree with don't tell people just to work harder, and I get that, I also think that's very dangerous if we just then be like, okay, well, you're fucked. You know, it's not going to work for you. You've got no options. Like, good luck for your life. And like,
no, hey, that's not an option.
No. And I think if you do think that if you've got no options at all, then you have to know like who your KiwiSaver's with, whether it's completely, you know, in the right risk profile, and because you've got to get everything that you do have working for you. If you believe that you're not the lever anymore, so KiwiSaver, debt, what debts do you have? Because then you're basically saying, well, I've let my income be used against me. So you've got to pay the debt dealers every week, whether that's mortgage, credit cards, etc. You've got to get, like you're saying, oh, I don't have an option to work harder. Well, you let someone come in and lend you money and start to erode what it is that you do have. So you've got to sort that out. And then outgoings, like you say. And I reckon just doing that alone, people will then get enough momentum to be progressing forward faster. They'll probably get out of the mindset of, working hard doesn't work.
Yeah.